Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. I'm Jeremy with Lifted Adventures. How you all doing tonight? Like I said, this is Jeremy's Pedal Power Hour. I'm super pumped for tonight. It's an awesome time, and I have an awesome guest with me tonight. So, real quick, let me tell you how this works. I have my special guest on, as you can probably already tell who it is, but I have my guest on tonight. The way it works is you ask your questions. I want you to run this podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. Ask your questions. I will ask those questions and cut myself off if I'm talking, and if my guest here is talking, I will obviously not cut him off. And without further ado, I don't really need to introduce this guy. He's got an itty-bitty YouTube channel. Brian Kennedy, BKXC, one of the first... are you there? Oh, there you are. Okay, you're holding still, like you look like you were... hold on. There you go. There you are. There you are. You looked like you were holding still for a second there, and yeah. I thought my stuff was frozen. But you are probably the first YouTube channel that I watched that got me excited about one, mountain biking, and two, to start the YouTube channel. So how you doing this evening?
Good.
Awesome.
I'm doing good.
Well,
what was that? Do you remember that first video?
Oh, geez, dude, I have no idea. You've been all over the place, and man, it was probably over in Europe somewhere.
Yeah. So later on, you joined the channel later on, 6 months in or something.
Yes. It was a little bit later on. You were already up there in the channel, up in the growth of subscribers, and it was cool. Just awesome. But yeah, you were the one that got me into it. But
that's great.
Excited. Thank you so much for having you on here.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me come onto your show. But just in case there's a few people on here who don't know who BKXC is, tell me a little bit about yourself and about your channel.
Yeah, so I'm Brian, and I ride the best trails in the world. The goal is to just go find all the great trails around the world, and this year I'm trying to ride all 50 states, which I'm actually doing pretty well. It's funny because my last video on YouTube was West Virginia, and I start to get all these emails from people like, hey, if you're coming through here, it's like, man, that was like 14 states ago. I'm like killing it now. So I'm on a hell of a tear, just traveling around. And this year was like all about just seeing all these different places. And I wanted to do more food, and I wanted to do more travel and meeting people and talking about the trail building. But
that's what got me. I remember it was you were eating, like, what got me like excited about you is because you were eating all this good food. Like I haven't eaten anything like that. You're eating stuff that I can't even pronounce. And yes, dude, that's
awesome.
That separates you. You're eating way better than I think I asked you, are you a vegan? Because for some reason I thought you were a vegan and only eating stuff, and you're eating. Oh, where were you? You were somewhere and you were eating like lamb or something, and it was really good.
Everything, you know, throw it on. If it
awesome.
Tastes good, I'll take it.
So, how long ago did you start your channel? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How long ago did you start your channel?
It was April 2016, and it was it was just I wanted to start some kind of business. And I saw Nate Hills with the gimbal, and I was like, holy moly, this is the real deal. I'm going to try this and see how it goes. And it worked.
So Nate Hills was your inspiration.
Yeah. He was my technical inspiration. Like, oh, you could actually have a GoPro on, and he doesn't talk at all. But he has the sound of the trails.
Yeah.
But the first video of his that I saw, his buddy was wearing the gimbal. And he was like chasing Mr. Hills, and I was like, what the hell? That just came through perfectly clear. I've never seen a mountain bike video where you could actually hear what the person was talking about. And I'd already been watching Casey Neistat and vlogging, and I'd already seen that there's this whole ecosystem of YouTube of like you can make a full-time living in these niches. We all know the beauty people, and there's fly fishermen, there's everything. But mountain biking, it didn't exist. No one had filled the void. And I think it's because it would have taken so much production.
Well, it did
Kind of.
exist. It was everywhere. It was just
Yeah.
shaking.
No, no
Just
one. There was no one making a time living on YouTube mountain
no.
biking. That's what I mean. So like, yeah. So like that was kind of like the thing. Like this is possible. It's. I'm sure there's probably 5 kayak guys at the time making a full time living on YouTube. And mountain biking had just never been exploited and explored and shown to the fullest potential of what vlogging is. It's talking to the camera. It's telling a story. It's bringing people along for the ride
Yeah.
and letting them in. It's not just handlebars and, oh, here's this trail kind of thing. It's this whole journey of me. I was working at a potsandpans.com. I was a web developer, and now there's this journey of me going around and talking to people, riding all these trails. And if you were there from the start, you saw it all happen, unfold week by week.
That's crazy. When did it come knowledge to you that this is going to be something you're going to do for a living, for basically what you're going to do from now on for a while?
Yeah, so it was just, I think it's pretty clear on YouTube from, it's like that. Oh, I see every time. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, your little logo popped up. I'm like, but so I think it's pretty clear on YouTube, at least from when I started my channel, that people were finding it somehow and people were commenting like, oh, wow, this is cool. And it's like, when you get 2 or 3 of those comments, it's great. You know it's working. It's like, okay,
that's awesome.
I just know it's a matter of time. Like if you put out your first video and you expect to have like 1,000 views or anything at all, you're like fooling yourself.
Yeah.
I always go back to MKB HD. So Marquise Brownlee, he's the guy who does tech reviewing, big time channel, maybe 10 million subscribers. He had 100 videos on his channel before he had 100 subscribers. Like if you are willing to do that, then you're willing to actually like put in the time, put in the work.
Jeez.
And there's not many people willing to do that.
No,
Even
that's a
Mr.
desire.
Mr. Beast, one of the most popular YouTubers.
Uh-huh.
He had thousands of videos. He just YouTubed every day. He was so obsessed with it. He had so few subscribers. And then he started getting on the weird, like counting to 1 million and like doing all the weird, goofy challenges and just kind of kept finding. So it's, I was lucky enough where the traction was there because mountain biking is such a searchable thing. I started test riding. I did demo bikes. Okay, I'll demo this bike and I'll ride it, even though I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll try to say like, and I quickly found out it's like I hate gear review stuff. I don't know. Even now on my current bike, I love my current bike. I've never been faster, but this wheel, this suspension, I'm not that guy at all.
It feels nice and it looks pretty.
I like talking about travel and trails, but gear and stuff, I can't hang.
That's super cool. What made you the vlogging? What made you decide to do? Because your inspiration was Nate Hills, which there's like you said, no talking. It's super rare when he talks.
And that's why I said he was my technical inspiration.
Yeah,
he was just the actual
getting out there and riding.
Nuts and bolts that you could have a camera that would capture your riding, and then everything else is just like, hey, this is stuff I'm always talking to myself on the trail. I probably hold the conversations in my head constantly all day. It's like, let's see if I talk and joke around, if people get the jokes and like it. And so far, so good. People actually like the jokes. And that's such a huge, piece of my channel. It's like, I get so many emails from people like, hey, watch this video. I did this video. And, I can turn it on for about 7 seconds and be like, there's nothing here, there's nothing happening, what's going on, what's the deal? You turn on my videos and you have the visual off, you just listen, you can enjoy the entire video. It's like there's stuff happening, there's there's a story moving along versus
Was it weird or was it natural to vlog? Because that's it a lot of comments I hear people, how I can't sit there, like my brother wants to do a computer building or techie kind of YouTube channel, but he can't even sit in front of a camera by itself. He can't be himself. It's weird to him. Was it weird for you starting off?
Yeah, for sure. I think it takes probably 100 videos or more just to get comfortable in front of the camera, and you're never going to get to that 100 videos if you keep feeling it's weird and you're like, I hate it. So you just have to do it. So like even before my mountain bike channel, I had a audiobook review channel on YouTube where I like did audiobook reviews because I listened to a ton of audiobooks.
Yeah.
And that came about because there was a guy at work who had a horror review channel. He did like horror video
Yeah,
reviews, and he had like 2,000 subscribers. And I was like, holy crap, this guy at work has 2,000 subscribers. And I watched his videos and I was like, wow, I think I could do this. This is like, I think I could do it. And like, so I did it and tried it. And then, I think a lot of us start channels and then nothing ever comes of it. I did
yeah.
one video and then I left it, and then I came back to it, and just like the talking to the camera, the being myself, like being able to pull off those layers is like, it's all repetition. It's all a workout. It's just like, man, I would really like to be a world champion power lifter, but I just can't even get the bar up. And it's like, well, you have to start with smaller than the bar. You have to
Yeah.
start with like nothing, like a milk jug. Then you go to the bar. Then you go to 135. Then you go to 400. Then maybe you have what it takes, the genetic freakness and like ability to be one of the best in the world. But you have to start, and you have to be obsessed.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I actually have another YouTube channel, and I haven't done anything with it. So it's amazing what people with mountain bikes can do with, just talking to a stinking camera. So
Yep.
we're going to go ahead and get some questions. Christian Burl asked Brian, how did you get the guts? Okay. How did you get the guts to ask Sarah to come with you across the country at the start of COVID? That's actually pretty decent. How'd you get that?
Man, I was already, if you guys
It was your smile. You just smiled.
Yeah. The first video when I rode with her, like when we finished the ride, that was like real. Like in the video, you see like, hey, if you ever want to come ride with me in the van, I like planted that little seed right there, like the first time I met her kind of thing, the first time we rode. So yeah, it just worked out really well. If we were going to just be locked down anyways, if things were going to be happening anyways, it was a total wild and crazy thing. And like, I've lived, I've had relationships, I've tried different things, and like, it's the best way to do it, just the trial by fire of like, hey, let's see if this is going to work. Because her job is super busy, super high impact. My job is super busy, super high impact. We're going to have this window where we could actually have time together and like really be on top of each other, where it's like, oh God, I'm in the kitchen and she's in the kitchen, and oh, we're in the van, where it's like, all right, let's see if this works. And if not, I can book her a ticket and send her home, and we'll be on our merry way.
You know how many married couples would end up getting a divorce with a lifestyle like that? That's hilarious. That's awesome. Okay, another question. Vancouver Island, MTB. I think you said you knew him. Which YouTubers you have collaborated? Which YouTubers you collaborated with first? Who did you collaborate first with?
That's a good question. So I would say that my very first YouTube collaboration was the single track sampler. So back in the day, you go on YouTube and you just search for mountain biking, and that's when I started my channel. You just search for mountain biking, and I looked at every single video. Anyone who had ever created a mountain bike video, okay, are they serious? What's their personality like? And back then it was Clint Gibbs and Seth Bike Hacks.
Yeah.
And maybe MTB Tips or something, the guy from Australia. So very few consistent mountain bike creators. And I stumbled upon the single track sampler.
Yeah.
I think he had his channel before I started my channel. He had his name, Single Track Sampler, before I started my channel.
Yeah.
So very much he was already out there, but he only had a handful of videos, maybe 2 or 3. Some of them, they might still be on his channel. I don't think he's deleted his old stuff.
Yeah.
So I searched for him. I was like, okay, what's his Instagram? What's his Twitter? And I DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, hey man, like, because like you kind of put your foot in the water, and he's like, oh, I'm working at a bike shop. Because I could just tell, even from, he had crappy no gimbal videos, and I could tell like, oh man, this guy like is cool. Like he's trying to do something. And there was no other, you could just tell that he had the seed of a vision of what it could be, and that he was like a student of YouTube, kind of, sort of, at that point where it's like, oh yeah, he gets like what is happening here. So we DM'd a little bit, and I had time off of work, and I was in Colorado, and we met up, and we rode, and we had this big long conversation about what YouTube could be. And if you ever meet him or talk to him in person or on his Patreon podcast, you could ask him about that first time that me and him talked about YouTube, and how I had all of this all laid out in my mind already. And I think he was like, whoa, what? Oh man. So I think it totally got him fired up, and like obviously the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've ridden together so much, we've collaborated so much. He has taken his channel to another level. It's like an amazing, just very, very cool thing where he was, dirt bagging it, living in his car, getting by, and
Living in
like,
his car, not a
yeah,
van, a
yeah,
car.
exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah.
smallest little car ever. He was down to maybe $50 or $100 in his bank account at the
Golly.
time. Like he was very much like it was kind of do or die, but not really. I mean, we all have safety nets. We all have, move in with mom and dad kind of thing. But like, I think it was like such a great moment in time where our paths crossed, and that was I'm pretty sure that was my first collaboration.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's super cool. And it's crazy you say Clint Gibbs. You see Clint's down here.
In
Pretty close
Florida,
to me.
yeah.
Yeah. And
He's still cranking videos. I
yeah,
searched for him
bro.
the other day because I'm like, wow, I wonder if he's still. Yep, he's still making
He
videos.
actually
Still
just hit
giant
100
trance.
subscribers or something like that.
Yeah,
He's still rocking it, and
yeah.
his son Dawson is lit.
Nice.
He's insane. But
Super shredder.
yeah, oh super. Okay, so let's see next one. Go down the list some more. A new rag, a Malella. Did you ride Maryland yet? And did you like it? Have you rode Maryland yet?
Yeah, I did. I have. I've been through Maryland. I've knocked off all the small states now. So yeah, it was fantastic. I did Frederick Watershed.
Yeah, that's right. You've
Video's
done 50.
already up. It's already up on Patreon. I think that's actually the one that comes out on Monday. Is Maryland. So it's all a blur. But yeah, it's all the Patreon stuff's like a week or 2 weeks ahead, a week ahead or so. And now I've got this whole backlog of videos that I need to edit and like camp out, find Wi-Fi, and get stuff up and running. So it's cool. It's a good problem to have.
Now you did the 50 states already.
No,
you haven't. Oh, I thought this was your
this
second
year.
time. This is your first time doing it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Big fan of the channel, obviously.
Yeah, right. You've traveled everywhere else, but the 50 states. I don't know why I'm thinking this is your second time doing it, but that's insane. And how far through are you? How many?
I think I did the 33rd state today. I think.
Okay.
So it's a blur now.
That's crazy. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Does it still like? Do you pinch yourself ever? Like this is my lifestyle. I get to travel.
Yeah,
around.
it's constant gratitude, definitely. Like
God.
I wake up in the morning, I know, like, because I worked the regular job for like 10 years, so
Yeah.
I didn't do any maybe I was 34 or something, 35 when I actually started this. So
Yeah.
I lived a whole nother life or multiple lifetimes as a normal guy. So I've worked at jobs with your boss, and you're like, God, is this going anywhere? And like, I'm not impacting anyone. So every day, every comment, every email, every time I ride a new trail that is badass, it's like, wow, this is so cool. And just to know that like that enthusiasm and that joy actually does like hit people and inspires them. I so many cool emails from guys that are like, hey, I lost 100 pounds because I started watching your videos and started eating better and getting out on the trails. And it's like, man, I wish I could have a picture of all the fat that I've burned off of the world.
Now you how long ago did you start riding?
I'll turn on my light again. 1 second. I've
Okay.
got the van has a little timer. So yeah, like my first memory of mountain biking was like in the 6th grade. I went with my buddy Andy and his dad Jack, but that was a one-off thing. Later on, I rode with my uncle Dennis, who I made a video about, and how he really got me into the outdoors and mountain biking. But even that was kind of like fits and spurts. And then me and my brother, maybe 10 years ago now. So like, yeah, I look at Strava's like the best way to be like, wait, when was that? So maybe around 2010, 2011 or so, me and my brother started going like every weekend, just going out riding. And like, we went to Moab, we did this, we did that. We started getting obsessed about mountain biking, and it was a great run. And basically we almost went mountain biking every weekend together until I started my channel. And then I started my channel, he got married, and it was like the divergent kind of thing. But and it's funny because all that time riding, my skills were pretty plateaued for sure. But now, traveling and seeing all kinds of different stuff, it's very lucky to like boost myself little by little, my skill set.
Now you've traveled all over the place. I mean, this is a kind of a loaded question, but like, what is your favorite place you've been to? I mean, you've been to more places and rode more places than 90% of the population can
Yeah.
actually do. Say they've had. What's been your favorite place so far?
Probably South Carolina. That Forks area trail system, man, that place is
Really?
so cool. Yeah, 30 miles of single track, and just like it's definitely under the radar.
Really? Out of all the worldly stuff you've been to, South
Definitely.
Carolina. That's what's up. Go America. Um, that's super cool. So what got you the idea to travel? Like, how were you able to randomly just start traveling the world? Did you just decide, like, let's
Yeah,
decide to go somewhere else?
it's so funny because there's so many components to me starting my channel. Like
Yeah.
there's a million inspirations, a million components, a million things, and one of them was Basque MTB in Spain.
Yeah.
And I had like a magazine article, or I saw something online about Basque MTB, and like, wow, these photos were like out of this world. So like just my desktop wallpaper at work, and just like everything was like, how can I build a business where I could go on these like mountain bike trips? Like how could I do something where I could just travel? So as soon as I possibly could, I was going to Spain for sure, because that
Yeah.
was the number one thing on the list. And it so turns out that it was the best thing ever. Like, it was, how could it ever measure up to my expectations? But man, the people, the food, the riding, like every single real deal hardcore mountain biker needs to get to Basque MTB and do one of their trips, because it is just like, it's amazing.
That's the one that they fed you like amazing, wasn't it? After the
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I remember that one. That's the
Yeah.
one I was like, okay, this guy's got something going on with his YouTube channel, being able to travel around like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So the XC, BKXC, obviously BK Brian Kennedy,
Yeah.
XC
Across the countries is what it stands for.
across the country, really. I
Across the countries, plural.
okay. I always thought it was like XC racing. It's not.
Yeah, people do think that. I don't know why they get that impression.
I would.
Mountain biking XC, it's weird. I don't see it.
Is it really? It's really across the countries.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I believe you. I just wanted to make sure. Let's see what other people are saying. We've got how many places you've been? You said 33. You're at 33
Yeah, I
right
think
now.
it's 33. I got to check my spreadsheet. But
Okay.
I think it's 33
And
states.
South Carolina's been the best place. That's insane. That's awesome. Christian says you're a liar about that.
Huh.
He didn't seem like he really enjoyed Fats on your video.
Huh.
Favorite trail. And so that's the Fats place.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, I've been
I don't know
meaning to
what's
go there
there.
and haven't gone there.
Yeah, check out my video. You'll see.
What was the best thing about that? Like, just
Oh,
because
just
it's long and
yeah, just all the miles,
Yeah.
the flat single track. Just, it's amazing.
You're serious.
No, I'm not. I'm fucking with you.
Okay. Fantastic. So, really, what was your favorite place so far?
Spain for sure.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Basque MTB is the ultimate. It's the best. It's
I was
the
like,
latest
what
and
is this?
greatest.
What is this dude's? Man, it is XC. Now I'm wondering. XC. Cross
That
country.
was so cross country in California, Northern California. Cross country races were always like big climb, big gnarly descent. So that was like my mindset for what XC was.
Yeah.
And then I realized that like XC is all like big flat lycra spandex stuff. So I was like, oh, this is it's not the right connotation. So now it's across the country.
No, it's cross the countries. Okay. Well, it's cross the countries. We'll just say from then on.
Yeah. I seriously do say that's what it is now. Yeah.
Golly,
For
dude.
for years now.
I'm gonna rewatch this whole live stream and be like, South Carolina. The whole time I believed you, South Carolina.
Well, it's a great inside joke, because I'm sure every single person in the chat saw the video and saw what I was saying. So I was gonna
I'm
keep it
sure
up
I
a little
saw.
bit.
I'm sure I saw it, and I'm just
No, you
having a
didn't.
bogus time. I know.
It's
I'm
okay.
sure I did.
And I don't never like hold it against people like, oh, you didn't see this video for sure. I put out so much stuff. Like, that's not it. It's just that it's such a good inside joke, and I feel like I'm gonna run with it and like keep going with
Well,
it.
you definitely got me, and now I'm there's only 25 people watching, so it's not that bad. It's not several 100,000 people hurting me. So, um, ask him if he would go back to Bama and ride Monte Sano State Park.
That's funny. I have never heard anyone mention Montesano State Park. I've heard Anniston and which is Coldwater, I think, in Alabama.
Yeah, that's Coldwater. Yeah,
And then I know there's some stuff up in Huntsville, but the stuff I did in Birmingham was awesome. That place was super cool. But Monte Santo, I'll have to check. If I haven't heard of it like 10 times, then it's going to be tough to get me
that's
there.
crazy. So, with all these places that you've gone to, is there any place that you're like desiring to go that you haven't ridden yet?
Oh man, that's a really good question, because I am able to knock so many things
Yeah,
off the list. Tasmania, I want to go back to Tasmania. I've been to Tasmania to Blue Derby, but since I was there, like the next week or something, they were going to have like the EWS. So they had built all these trails that were like ready to go, but they couldn't show me them. So I know there's like all these new trails at Blue Derby. And then there's this Medina Bike Park in Tasmania. There's also this Bay of Fires trail that goes from the top of the Mount Atlas. And yeah, there's a big mountain above Blue Derby that goes on to the other side to like the ocean in Tasmania. So that's one that's been on my list. It's very much up there. Finale Liguri is supposed to be really, really good as well. But the list is actually somehow getting a little shorter.
Yeah, somehow
Yeah.
we don't know how that's happening. That's awesome. So, your bike setup, you don't really like to do reviews over bikes and all that kind of stuff. You're riding Ibis?
Ibis Ritmo.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You enjoying it though, at least?
Oh yeah, I love it. They're sold out across the globe, and it's
well, everything's
fantastic.
pretty much sold out across the globe right now.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I love it. It's a great bike, and I'm very lucky to be able to work with them, be sponsored by them, and
that's awesome.
Get to ride their bike.
That's super awesome. Now van life. We got to talk about van life. And even people are asking how living in van life is going on right now. I remember when I first asked you and hit you up about being on my podcast, you were working things out with your van, and you were having some serious issues. How is it going on now?
Yeah, it's pretty much been the same the whole time. If it's hot outside, it's hot inside. If it's cold outside, it's cold inside. So the climate control is definitely the number one issue with the van. Everything else is like so nice to have my bikes inside.
Yeah.
Today I was driving, there's like 3 or 4 crazy rainstorms and all this stuff happening. I'm like, my bike's inside. I'm not having to worry about the headset and getting all jacked up and wet and all that stuff. So it's awesome. Even with Sarah in the van, when we were together with her espresso machine and her stuff, we still had plenty of room to sleep and move and like get everything situated. So it's really cool, and it drives great. It drives like a car, like parks in normal spots. There's so many good things about it.
It drives like a car. That's awesome. Just like South Carolina. So the van, did it take a little bit kind of to get used to it, or was it pretty instantaneous?
Oh yeah, like sleeping at night is always weird. It's like, unless you're in like a campground, I sleep in a lot of Walmart parking lots, and just stuff where it's like, what's that noise? What's going on? But like, since I got a little fan to blow on me, some white noise, it helps a little bit. But it's still like uber paranoia. Like, what's that?
Someone said so. Sarah was climate control. And then someone else says, "Who's Sarah?" So, the van, does it? Are you riding a Sprinter, or I've completely forgotten
Ram
what it is.
ProMaster.
Ram ProMaster. Okay. And how long did it take you to get that whole thing? You went through a company to help you.
Yeah, it took a day.
A day.
Yep,
that's
they
like
just
nothing.
Bolted all in. Yeah, it was easy. And then me and my dad built out the electrical system and a couple other parts. And then me and my buddies down in SoCal built a box to hold stuff in. But like, just the main kit and component was just easy drive in there to Wayfarer Vans in Colorado Springs, and just park in, and then they've got it down to a science. They're I don't know, COVID might have like hurt them a little bit this year, but they were planning on doing like 300 plus vans conversions, just
Yeah.
boom, 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 like getting it going. And it was cool. Ian, who's actually the college roommate of Cody from Hand Up Gloves, which is like such an interesting small world. Ian is the guy who runs the Wayfarer Vans company, and he's got like 6 employees, and it's just so cool to see someone go from a little idea and turn it into like something actually legit and employing people and getting stuff done. But yeah, it's cool.
With COVID, has that really? I mean, you're traveling. I mean, you're going through state through state through state. Has that been an issue for you? I don't like talking about COVID. It's not very happy talking, but has it really affected you as a traveling YouTuber?
At first, when all the lockdowns were happening and the big time, heavy duty restrictions, I went back home and I hung out for 3 months at home. So that delayed things a little bit. But
Yeah.
as things were starting to open back up, I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's get back on the road. And basically, I stay in the van. I still stay self-contained. When I did all the New England states, I barely interacted with anyone. Like, I went into one gas station and I had a mask, and the guy at the counter had a mask. He had a plexiglass thing up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, I can get gas. I can get curbside pickup. I can get, like, Walmart will take stuff out to your
Yeah.
car. Like, I can be so self-sufficient in the van. And like, gas station bathrooms, that's about, I have to like have some kind of like passing by people to actually take a dump
Yeah.
here and there. But like, I feel very, very confident in my ability to avoid people. I'm always wearing a mask, whatever anyone believes who's watching this. If I'm wearing a mask, I'm not going to get you sick. You can get me sick, but I'm not spreading stuff. So going around, traveling, and yeah, it's been good. There hasn't been any like, this park is closed because of this. If
Yeah.
anything, sometimes there's like a pay station will be closed. Like, hey,
Yeah.
we're not taking money because of COVID and stuff.
I remember a couple of parks during the quarantine part, the lockdown. We had a couple
Yes.
parks that were obviously closed, but
Fully closed. Yeah.
that's crazy. Well, that's super cool. You haven't really had any issues with that. I just can't. I've asked my wife. I was like, "Can we get a van?" And it kind of. She said no. And she said we have kids, so she said no to that. And it'd be pretty awesome. I'd love to do it. I don't know if I could do a van though. That's just pretty.
Too small.
I'm 6'4".
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, definitely too small. Like for me, I can like lay down flat. I can kind of move my legs a little bit and then lay down. I don't even feel it. But if you were a half an inch taller than me, like, yeah, I'm like 5'10" and a half. So 5'11" and up, you're crumpled. You're off to the side.
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
upside
yeah.
down. You're in a banana hammock. It's very limited.
Real quickly, Christian, thanks for the super chat, man.
Oh, nice.
He's super excited about having his comments talked out a couple times. You see, I watched who did I watch? It was I think it was Pink Bike video. It might have been Pink Bike. I might be missing it. But 2 girls in a van, sleeping sideways in it, and I have no idea. I mean, they got to be short. I could not do. Yeah, I mean, my van would have to be like a super stretched out.
Yeah,
I could do.
Alexander's van is longer than mine, and he has the full size bed that goes. I think he sleeps lengthways. I sleep sideways because that is 6
Really?
feet wide. So it's like, it's just enough. It's just like, boom,
Is that the normal width of like a normal vehicle, or is it?
Yeah,
are these vans
I think,
a lot wider?
No, it's the normal width of like a ProMaster van. But if you do a custom build, then all of a sudden you start, building more. This one is kind of pretty slimline when it's like, okay, it's just this little panel because the outside is this close away, kind of thing. But like, yeah, it works.
That's awesome. I'd be more of a hotel, but I'd be more of an RV dude, or one of those.
Yeah.
I could do a short trailer, one of those Airstreams or whatever they're called. That would be fun to do. Oh, that's super awesome. So, what's your plans with this 50 state thing? Are you trying to take draw it out? I talked to Andrew Taylor. He's done the 50 state thing.
Yeah.
That's actually why I mixed
Yep.
you two
Yep.
up together.
Totally.
Andrew Taylor did it, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Are you trying to draw yours out, or are you
No,
wanting to
I
take your
want to.
time?
No, I don't want. I can't take my time because there's always, the whole country could go on lockdown again tomorrow, and then I'd go home, and it's like, so I got to make hay while the sun shines, get in everything, especially with the weather.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like trying to go one per day kind of thing, and boom, 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 and then have a couple days off editing. But it's just the more time I have, the more before October. Some of these places you can still ride in October and November. Even Colorado, there's some November riding to be had. But like, I'm not going to let it get that far because basically Alaska is the only one I'm really worried about. But we'll see. That I should be able to make that happen. But yeah, Hawaii and Alaska are going to be tough.
Yeah, yeah, I would think so. Now, I don't know if you just said it, but Alaska, are you going to be driving up through, or are you gonna fly there, or
No,
what?
everyone who's at their computer right now, put in Google Maps to Anchorage from your house right now, anywhere in the country, putting Google Maps to Anchorage, Alaska. And I guarantee it's at least 30 hours of driving, maybe 50 hours of driving.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 10 hours a day for 5 days in a row. No, no way. I'm going to fly. And you can't get there because the border's closed anyways. You have to go through
Yeah.
Canada.
Okay.
So,
Okay. There we go.
but like, it's crazy. Like, I've actually, like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, because Andrew Taylor drove, and it's like that was half of this trip was driving through
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Yukon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
That's nuts. Justin Crone is asking, are there any plans for another redemption series with Alex?
No
Alexander.
plans yet, but
Yeah.
I think he's feeling he wants to get back on the road. So our paths may cross again. It's like, it's crazy though, because I'm so like, I'm going this way. It's like, if you want to come join up, that's fine, but I'm going to be here, there. I don't even know where I'm going to be tomorrow. And I've got 10-hour drive here and this. It's like, I'm very focused. I'm very insulated where it's like, I can't get slowed down, but if you want to hop on, you can hop on the train.
That's awesome. So, what's your plans after the 50 then? Are you
Retire. I'm going to retire, go off into the
I'm done.
sunset.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
exactly.
You're gonna coast into the sunset.
I'm gonna make a fat biking channel and go to Quebec. But
There
yeah,
you
I've
go.
got ideas for next year, but you never know until actually like form actually comes into focus and form. But for 2020, it's been a great thing where it's like, this is it. This is the goal. I'll fill up the calendar with this one thing and just like, yeah, take the bull by its horns.
Is that kind of how your whole ideas come up? Do they just as your channel flows, it flows, or are you a big planner for your stuff?
Oh man, it's tough because I used to do 3 videos a week, and it's like that is just the most ridiculous thing. Looking back, it's like how the hell? It's just the constant grind of doing 3 videos, crank them out. Oh, do this, do that.
Yeah.
With 2 videos a week, I can have a much better like take a step back. Okay, this is going to be here, and then be like, okay, yes, I can do this because I just did this. But it's like when you're like, you have to slow the treadmill down. That's why, Seth and Alex dial it back down
Mm-hmm.
where it's not, 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, where it's like, oh, okay, you can get a clearer view and like create a story and like, man, I really want to do this. And you can actually accomplish that by slowing down.
See, yeah, Alexander has completely changed his channel. He's not doing the vlogging much anymore. He's doing, full production almost style videos. Are you planning on doing something like that, or are you going to stick with your when all
I'm still here.
it's the motion light in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Are you planning on sticking with what has been working so far?
Yeah, I always have ideas, and I always want to test things out.
Yeah.
I've done travel, kind of like more produced travel video kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and there's all that stuff. But yeah, it's so it requires a different pathway than what I'm doing, I think, because I love the ability to show up to a place, put on the gimbal, and go ride and show off a trail system. It's like you can't do that with like cameras and this.
Yeah, yeah,
This,
yeah.
okay, have my cameraman. Oh, let's do this again. Let's do a second take. Oh, we're gonna need 3 or 4 days. We're gonna film here. Like that's the only way you would be able to do it with production style. So it's like I love the run and gun, just like go for it, get this done. And but of course I always see like, ooh, what if I did this and tried that and evolved into this? So I'm always thinking for sure.
That's cool. I keep getting asked by Joey Dolan. He's like, ask about Marquis or Copper Harbor.
Yeah, I've already been. I've been to
Already been
both.
those?
They're on the channel.
There you
You
go.
missed them.
There you go. We all missed them.
Yeah, I'm not going to go up there this time because it's way too far.
Yeah.
Even in Michigan, you're in Detroit. It's 13 hours away to go to Copper Harbor.
Jeez.
Like I was riding with guys a couple days ago, and they're like, "Yeah, we just go to Asheville. We go to Snowshoe. We go." It's like it's closer to go to everywhere else in the country than a place in their own state.
That's awesome. So, in the 50 states, besides South Carolina, what's your favorite place in the United States that you've been to?
There's been a lot of cool surprises. Utah was fantastic. That was top of the list on the first run through. The Flying Monkey Trail and the other one, oh man, I forget the name, but like Hurricane Utah, St. George. That was just an awesome, like, oh my God, full on double black diamond, like pucker fest. That was like kind of the big highlight for the first run. But then West Virginia was just, it blew me away. That was the video from last week, or one of the videos from last week, where it's just this rugged mountain, crazy descent, just like, holy crap, these mountains, this is all I live for. Backcountry, cool riding, and West Virginia was like awesome. It's so funny too, because then you get comments from people like, oh, this one's even better. It's like, how can anything be better than that one? Like I don't trust anybody anymore.
That's that's what you live for. I mean, it keeps switching up every single time. Now, what is your favorite kind of riding of the stuff that all the stuff you've done, dude? Like, I'm just amazed. Like, my mind is blown when I watch some of your overseas stuff and just the luscious green. I can't stop talking about it because it's just it's absolutely gorgeous. What's your favorite? Is your favorite stuff the single track that you got the big huge Swiss mountains off the side and all that kind of stuff, or do you like to get inside and it's dark in the woods and chunky and just get lost, or what?
It's all about the terrain. Like I could care less about the views. I get so many people recommendations and emails is like what my whole channel lives on. People like recommend a ride that has a good view, and it's like that doesn't do anything for me. What about the trail? What about the chunk? What about the difficulty, the pain and the pleasure, like getting there, and like the actual fun factor is all I care about. But it's like it is kind of cool when something looks cool and it's nice, but like the getting into that flow state, getting into that just crazy white grip knuckle on the handlebars where it takes you all your concentration. It's not too hard and it's not too easy. That flow state.
So that's surprising because, like I've said, your videos are gorgeous. You're at a gorgeous place, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I'm gonna ask Christian again. He asked, and I'm might say Fats, but what's your worst trail? What's the worst place you've been at? And no. Real quickly, no hard feelings to anybody who's these local trails, but what's been your worst favorite?
It's not. I'm trying to think of like some local something. It's just everything in my videos. If you watch my videos, you see South Carolina was like it just wasn't there because it was like 30 miles and this and that. But then at the end there was a couple cool turns and a couple cool things. But yeah, I'm not gonna harp on South Carolina, but I might still harp on. I might keep it as a little inside joke.
Well, now you got even further. That one time you were interviewed that one dude, he had no clue what you're talking about. Well, that's awesome. Well, your channel started, you said 2016, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any idea? You're at now close to 400 subscribers, right? 360 something, I think. Did you ever have any? Was that the plan, or did you have any idea that this was? I mean, it was going to be something so huge.
Yeah, that was the goal. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like if you do something that people like, then people find it, and that's all that matters. Because then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, the finances actually work out. When
Yeah.
you can get that many subscribers, it's like, okay, I can actually make an income. Like for me, I don't even check my subscriber numbers anymore. It's irrelevant. It doesn't correlate with anything whatsoever. It doesn't correlate with views. It doesn't correlate with my happiness. It doesn't correlate with my income. It's just a number. Like I could care less. But actually having income, it does matter. Like the Patreon number is always in the
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
of my
Yeah.
mind. It's like these people actually care. These people actually go for the $3 a month, which right now is not a trivial amount, even though we ride really expensive bikes. But that just shows there's this extra level of engagement because I even talk about this in my 100 or 25 I think it was my 25 subscriber, not 25,000 subscriber, 25 subscriber
25.
update
Uh-huh.
about how it's the friction in this world is so great for you to actually click subscribe. Like it's just like for people to actually spend money, it's like, oh my God, it's like an act of God. It's ridiculous. Like, wow, somebody actually bought a hat or a shirt or a jersey. Like
Yeah.
that is like it blows my mind because people can't be bothered to do much of anything. Like they'll watch the video, it's like, hey, I've seen every one of your videos. I'm a big fan. I've never subscribed. I've never done anything. Like I've never like I get
That does amaze me. Like
yeah.
what's I don't know what your I don't know what it's called, but your when people watch but they're not subscribed, your
Yes, I've
interaction and
gotten
all that.
email. I got comments and emails from people like, "You are the first channel I've ever subscribed to." It's like, yeah, because you had to actually make a Google account or whatever, and like actually log in, which is all. It's great. It's awesome. But yeah, those numbers, the subscriber number, it's great. It's
Yeah.
really cool. I don't want it all to be about income, but it's about impact, and you can't do it without income. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've very much like spent so much money on travel, so much thing, and it's all because my people support me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I made
Exactly.
this much, I'm going to spend this. I made this much, I'm going to spend this much. So I'm basically, running on even keel, and it's like, hey, I can live in a house, I can have a car, I can have a van, and go and inspire people. And if it all falls apart tomorrow, and I have to work at McDonald's, it was like, hey, it was worth it.
Are you still excited about it now as you've always been, or is it
Yeah,
more exciting to you?
and it's very exciting because like there is it's work. It is like okay, I gotta get up, I gotta do this. It's still like, oh, is that gonna work? But then when you get on the trail and then you feel that flow, and it's like, here we go, this is why I'm here. This is gonna like maybe someone will actually come and ride this trail because I talked about it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll actually drive the 20 minutes to this trail that they never even knew was in their backyard, and go ride it. So that is everything to me.
That's super cool. Seriously is like I surf, and
Oh, cool.
for a while there I was like, there's nothing like surfing. Each wave is completely different. And then I
Yeah,
started mountain biking, and people joke you got to ride the waves on the mountain. It
yeah.
Everything's different. It completely changes every single time somebody passes a certain line, and it's amazing how you can record it and put a gimbal on your chest. Now
Yeah.
you're still using a gimbal too, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. The Karma Grip and the Hero 4,
Yeah.
old faithful.
Oh, you're still
I
using
actually
a
had
Hero 4 too.
yeah. And I had a rainy ride that like messed up my gimbal, like fritzed one of my gimbals. And I switched to the Hero 8 with the chin mount. And it's like, oh, I don't even know if I can release one of the videos because it's so horrible. Like, it's just like, God. But I got to actually get in the editing bay and like chop that one down. Maybe it might be a 3-minute video, but it is what it is.
So you haven't given in to the hype of the 8 yet.
That's what I was just saying. I used it and it looked
Yeah,
like
yeah.
crap. So I was like,
I
I
thought you
don't
said
know.
okay.
Yeah.
That that's you see everybody seems to. I'm using I used the gimbal from the start
Yeah.
with the 4, and the chin mount seems to, I don't know, I really like the feel and look of that, but you have to wear the stinking helmet, and I keep watching yours and Nate Hills and several other people, and they still have the chesty with the gimbal, and it just looks so much cleaner.
Yeah,
It
there's
seriously
something. There's
does.
definitely something to it, but like the chin mount, you do actually see steepness, kind of, sorta. Your mind still has to kind of imagine it, but there are certain things where it's like, oh wow, okay, I can kind of see this trail a little bit better. So I still want to experiment. I might try under the visor kind of
Yeah.
mount, that kind of thing. But
So you were
yeah,
putting the 8 on your chest then. It was
chin.
still. Oh, you were doing it on your chin,
Yeah,
and just wasn't it? Okay.
yeah, because it was a rocky, techie trail. So it's like
Okay.
it's when it's actually a flowy trail, your head's more of a gimbal. It's like awesome, it looks good. But if you're doing any kind of work, it's like
Yeah, 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 yeah. I have noticed a little bit of choppiness whenever you get some, full on chunk. Okay, so Vancouver Island MTB is asking which trails were the most challenging for you.
um I every day there's a trail that's very challenging to me. Today I was riding some downhill trails that, like, too big a jumps are always the most challenging thing for me, where it's like, these jumps, I can't beat these jumps, I can't get on these jumps. So that for me is very much like always like, oh, I gotta find a week to just get out and learn this stuff, get on some progressive little stuff to big
Yeah.
stuff to even bigger stuff, and see what I'm made of and break through those fears.
With Eric, not Eric. Yeah, Eric from No Front Brakes. We were talking
Yeah.
about white whales. What
Yeah.
would you think your white whale right now is?
Oh, that's a good question. So I would consider a white whale, the definition of a white whale, something you're fighting for and you're chasing after and you
Mm-hmm.
can't get it and you keep getting thwarted.
Something
So
you want desperately and it might scare
yeah,
you or whatever. Yeah.
I guess a plan for retirement. That's what I'm my white whale. That's what all I think about is how to make this sustainable, because it's not sustainable right now. I get hurt tomorrow and it's like, oh, it all falls apart. So actually building something bigger than myself, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much all I think about now. Since I have the 50 state shred, it's like, okay, what else? What are these other things that I can do? What can I build? How can I do this so it runs whether or not I make a video or not?
Okay. So you don't you're kind of stuck on what's going to happen after the 50 states.
No, not so much. I'm stuck on what's going to happen 10 years from
Oh,
now,
10
20
years.
years
Okay.
from now,
Yeah.
50 years from now.
Well, just invest in
Tesla.
in Tesla and Bitcoin. I don't know. And I'm a financial advisor. I can't answer that.
Oh yeah, I just invested a lot into gold because we're printing our way into hell. So I'm gonna have a nice little hyperinflation protection here.
Now I'm getting asked, are you by a river? I know I see cars. I see
Cars
cars.
going
People
by. Yeah.
people are going by cars. Let's see. Another question. What would Brian's day is a responsible nugget intake rate to be in BKXC? Okay, I guess what he's asking.
What would I say? I think he said meant say instead of day.
I guess what would Brian? Yeah, what would Brian say is a responsible nugget intake rate? I have to scroll back up to stay in shape, I guess.
Got to
Like
go
you.
miles per nugget. So if you do a 20-mile ride, you're approved to do 20 nuggets. So if you're doing 20 miles every day, you
Okay,
do
that
20 nuggets every day.
I
Now
understand now.
you're dipping sauces. You might need to limit the dipping sauces. The 20 nugget comes with 3. You might have to cut down to 2 because that's where a lot of your calories in. And don't get me started about the soda. If you're having a soda with the nuggets, it's the soda that's the problem. It's all about the sugar. Cut out the sugar. Just start drinking water. And,
Well, what if it's all organic and all
that
natural?
that doesn't matter a thing. There's plenty of it's the sugar. The sugar is what gets you.
Well, the nugget could be organic.
Yeah, the nugget could be whatever you want it to be. It could be it's pretty much pink slime, but it's protein based.
So with food, since we're talking about nuggets, well, I guess nuggets aren't real food, but food. You've like I said at the start of this, you've eaten some awesome stuff. What's been your favorite? It's mountain biking related, but what's been your favorite food you've had around the world?
Man, today, or this year, I should say, not today, but earlier the year when I was in Louisiana and Mississippi, I had like a catfish po' boy and hush puppies. I'd never had hush puppies before, and
You never had hush
you know,
puppies before.
it's a southern thing,
I
obviously,
guess
because
so.
I've heard the name. I've heard of it, but I think if you get them at like TGI Fridays or whatever, it's like filled with cheese or something like that.
Huh.
The real hush puppy where it's like a cornmeal fried,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that was awesome. There was a lot of good little southern treats
You
that I
never been
had.
to like a Long John Silver's?
Yeah, yeah, I guess I have. Well, actually, no, I don't think I ever have been to Long John Silver's now that you mention it. But yeah, it's beignets. Like there was some good stuff, and that's kind of the biggest crappy thing about the 50 state shred COVID style is that I'm not going to these restaurants. I see these places.
Yeah.
I've been able to get takeout in a couple places where it's like it's open air. I can walk up. I can take my food, but still to this day, I'm just passing by these restaurants that are packed out and no mask because we're eating, and it's like I can't do it.
That's crazy. So one thing I've been really wanting to ask you, living in a van, not down by the river, whoever asked.
Yeah.
Um,
Down by the mosquitoes.
down by the mosquitoes. Do you do all your repairs, or are do you find a shop around you if something happens, or are you doing everything out of the back of your van?
With my bike.
Your bike, yeah.
Yeah, so like everything's been good so far. I did have to take it to the shop one time. My crank almost fell off, which was at least it was during my Washington D.C. ride where I was just looking at the monument, so it wasn't an actual like hardcore ride. So I didn't realize I need like a 14 mil thing that actually tightens that up. So
Yeah.
I bought that, but I had to take that to the shop. But otherwise, I'm fixing what I can. But oh man, I was mentioning in my video today, like if I break the frame, it's over. Like, where am I going to get a bike? Where am I like? Is I just have a bike maybe like that they can take from someone else and send to me? Like I was supposed to have two bikes for this because of that. Like because I know some shit is going to happen and I'm going to be screwed. But it is what it is. We're all going through our own little versions of that.
What would you do in that case? Would just chill until
I'd
you
send
get a
them a
bike?
text and say, hey, I need a bike because like
That's crazy.
there are bikes out there, but it's like I'm getting paid by Ibis. I can't be seen on anything else.
That's nuts. So I'm being told you should copyright or trademark nuggets per mile. They're saying stay away from White Castle in Midwest, and that you should hit up Bojangles' Best Fried Chicken. I'm going to go against Bojangles.
I've seen them. I actually passed, I believe today.
Yeah.
I believe this is a hint as to where I am. I think I passed the White Castle headquarters today.
Oh.
It was the biggest, most beautiful building. I was like, what the hell? And it said White Castle on this, unless it was a really nice White Castle.
I've never eaten White Castle.
No, I've seen it as well. I know they have the sliders and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a couple in California, but it's very rare.
Yeah, it doesn't intrigue me. I'd rather just go and have a big cheeseburger.
Real burger,
yeah. From
Five
a real
Guys
place.
is about the best quality.
Oh.
Fuddruckers is my number one.
Oh, Fuddruckers is amazing.
For the hamburger quality, the freshness, the bun, like they are basically
the bun is what sets it off.
A+.
We're talking about mountain biking, but we're talking about the buns. Those buns are insane. I like that. And then they got milkshakes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a restaurant. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you have Five Guys, and then you have is it Fat Guys? I want to see it's Fat.
Oh, Fat Burger.
Fat Burger.
Yeah.
Is that the one where they have a big, huge fat dude as the fat cartoon dude? I think. Okay. They had a burger, and inside of it was, I guess it's normal now. Everybody's doing this, but it has cheese in it, and they warn you before you eat it that to lean over your plate and eat it because it will come out, and you have to say you understand that you could burn yourself. That is the best thing I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
Burger-wise.
That's just awesome.
Brilliant. And then the fries, the shoelace fries and all that stuff. Let's see. Vancouver Island. He wants to know what's the best food you have had in the 50 state shred. Lights went out.
I already answered that. Who's listening? Who's asking
I know.
questions?
Well, the 50 state shred. You've had a hard kind of
earlier this year.
Yeah, but it's been kind of hard.
Sandwiches.
I'm just trying to go down questions and ask and everything. So, Yeah, guys, I got BKXC on here with me. Wow, this went by really fast. We got a minute left.
Oh, wow.
But real quickly, like I like to ask everybody, what is your saying? Do you have a saying that you like to close your videos out? I like to
Oh, of
close it with
course.
this.
Yeah. I always say, thanks for watching, you guys. I'll see you on the trail.
Real simple. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, everybody, I posted. If you haven't seen BKXC's YouTube channel, I posted his link down in the description below. Make sure you go check him out and his awesome YouTube channel. Brian, I thank you so much. This went by super fast,
I
super
know. That
fast.
was.
I've it's done this before where I've had so much fun where an hour goes by and I'm like, oh crap, I wish I had another hour.
Yeah.
But dude, thank you so much for coming on here. It was
Hell
super
yeah.
blessing and awesome to have you on here. Like I said, guys, go check him out and follow him, subscribe him, or whatever you want to call it, and give him a thumbs up and everything. But I will talk to you guys later. Like I always say, guys, make sure you lift up God, lift up life, lift up the adventure. Get out there, make your own adventures. Go check out Brian Kennedy across the countries,
Across the country.
across the countries, and go ride his favorite place in South Carolina, Fats. I'll talk to you guys later. God blessed. And the wonderful end it, press end.